Ask Mike and Todd. It's Todd Ranck back for another edition. Did you have a favorite cereal?
Yeah, that was probably between Fruit Loops and Golden Grams. Those would be my two.
Ooh, little Golden Grams, huh?
Oh, I love those Golden Grams. I didn't get into the kids' cereals like the Count Chocula's and all those like crazy ones. It just or the peanut butter, or there's all kinds of crazy stuff. I kept it pretty clean. But yeah, the Fruit Loops, honeycombs. Love me some honeycombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as I've gotten older, do you even eat cereal anymore? I mean,
I do. I just started to kind of like, now that we're quarantined, it's like I have more time to just sit down, have a bowl of cereal. You know, it's like I feel like a kid again, where I can put the box up in front of me and read the back of the box.
Well, what were you talking about with that when we just came on? I never read the back of the cereal box. What are you talking about?
No? Oh, man, you used to grab the back of the cereal box was like, that was the thing, man. They had all different games back there and everything.
I just tried to get the prize that was inside the cereal. When they would have the little toy or something that would be in the bottom of some of those cereal boxes, I'd dig deep under the bag to try and get the toy.
Oh, no.
But that was it.
Yeah, no, back in the day, you used to read the back of the cereal box, and it had, like, all sorts of games and stuff back there, and we would fight over the back of that box.
That's funny. Yeah, I did not. I never got into that.
Yeah, if you Google, read the back of the cereal box, Amazon writes, nobody reads the back of the cereal box anymore. And there's a whole story about why kids don't read. It's a book about how kids don't read the back of the damn cereal box anymore.
That's funny. Now, do you change? Did you change from being a kid, or do you still eat the same kid cereal?
No. I eat. Well, I used to eat these when I was a kid. Frosted Mini Wheats, Raisin Bran, and Life were my three favorites.
I still love Life.
Of course, Mikey likes it, man.
That Life is still a go-to, and Rice Chex actually is a new one that I eat.
Just a little Rice Chex, man.
Very, very nice. I've got them in my cabinet right now, but I usually don't do any cereal, mainly because I don't drink milk anymore. I really don't. They used to say when we were kids, drink your milk, drink your milk. Now they're telling you don't drink another animal's milk.
Oh, jeez.
They keep telling you to go different directions. I was drinking some almond milk, then I was drinking the 2% organic milk. But I'm just not a milk guy anymore.
Yeah, it's like I used to drink like a glass of milk here and there, but the only time I ever have milk now is for that's funny. Like, you don't really see anybody just scarf down a glass of milk anymore.
No, because we used to have, even my mom would give us milk with dinner. Like if you had, and it depended what we were eating, but if it just seemed to go with the dinner, she would give us milk with, like, I don't know, turkey and meatloaf. I don't know what she'd do. She'd give us milk with that.
You used to have a nice glass of milk before you went to bed when you were younger. Yeah,
that's right, too. And they would warm it sometimes, right? Mom would warm the milk up.
Right. They'd give you a nice warm glass of milk.
Yeah, all that's out the door these days.
So, real quick, I want to get your thoughts on this. You and I, we missed out on the NCAA tournament. We love that tournament. We go down on that spring training every year for that tournament. But what are you thinking about all these kids now that are bypassing? They got this new G League thing. Have you seen this?
Well, I don't know if I've seen the whole thing. All I heard was that you can, I don't know if it's every player, but one of those great players that was going to go to college is getting like $500,000 to go to G League.
Well, right. It's essentially like if you were going to be a high school kid that could have gone to the draft, you can apply to go to this pathway program into the G League, and they essentially will now rate you. And if they think you're good enough, they would say, okay, you've been accepted to this program, and you can go right to the G League, and they will pay you up to $500,000 to play in the G League for a year instead of playing college ball, so that if you're a one-and-done kid and you don't really want to go to college, you can go right to the G League. It's called the Pathway Program, and they're going to have a team that's essentially an extra team in the G League that's going to be all these kids who go to this program, and they're going to be on a team, and they're going to play the other G League teams, but they're going to get to kind of live the life of a pro, like travel. They're going to get paid and all that stuff, and they're just going to get to bypass college now if they want. I said this could be the dagger for that college basketball. Now, it might not die all the way, but what kid is going to go and be a one-and-doner now if you can go get paid?
Well, this is what's happening, and it's already suffering. I mean, we can see it in the college game. It suffers huge, and I don't know how this works, Gill. So you've got a team of all young kids.
It's all kids that would have been essentially one-and-doners, and they can apply for this program if they get accepted. In other words, yes, you would have been drafted if you were going to go to the draft, but you have to be 1 year removed from high school. So they're creating this team, and then you get paid according to where you might have got drafted. Like that one kid, he would have been the number one pick in the draft if he would have come out. So he's getting the full $500,000. This other kid, he just decommitted. He was going to go to UCLA, this kid Nix. He just decommitted and decided, I'm going to do that thing, and he's getting $300,000.
Well, this year it's a little different, right? Because the unknown, right? Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen with college, everything else coming up in the fall. But here's what I would say. You got a bunch of kids. What it means is if they're building a team with these kids, then Gill, they're almost obligated to at least get 8, 10, 12 kids on that team. The other is you now got a bunch of these young kids. You talk about animosity by the other G League players who are getting paid what? $5,000 a month? And these kids are getting $500,000, $400,000. You don't think these other players are going to say, "Oh, yeah, bring them into our house. We're gonna beat them up." I just don't know that this is a smart play. I get they're trying to get these kids, instead of having to go to school and do the whole thing, it's like you can focus on your career because you know you're going to be a basketball player. But I don't know that I love it. And again, like you said, I think it really the be-all, end-all is that the college game is going to suffer even more because now you're watering down that league even more, Gill.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, that's the thing to me is that what kid is going to go to college now? Like, if you are going to be a top 5 pick in the draft, why are you wasting? And like I was saying that maybe, I don't know, what college programs are thought of the way that Duke is probably the only college basketball team anymore, maybe Kentucky, that has that cachet name to it. So many of the schools have been, they just have dropped. Like North Carolina, you don't think of North Carolina like you used to think of North Carolina, right?
No, they're not. Even when they bring in some decent talent, I mean, this last year was a down year for them. But
they were
still
horrible this year.
But, I mean, think about this. So now the kids that are going to go after 1 year of college really are the kids that probably should have stayed into college for 2 years. So you're getting even further less talent. I mean, the league is going to be really – I mean, you talk about parity this year, and there was how many teams could have won the national championship? It's just going to be tough.
I think this tournament this year was going to be so much fun. Now, the play was going to be mediocre, but it was going to be so wide open. We used to text all season long, and I'd be like, dude, this team stinks. And this guy said, dude, they all stink. The top 25 was filled with teams that stunk.
Well, that's the problem. You say it would have been an exciting March Madness, which, yes, it would have been. But the caliber of basketball was going to be
bad.
awful.
Yeah, bad.
We watched it all year, and you were like, there wasn't one team that stayed at number one for longer than a week almost.
God, man, and I was mad. I watched so much college basketball this year. I was uberly ready for that damn tournament.
I mean, well, yeah, because we were suffering through the season. We said, well, let's get to the tournament so at least we can knock each other out. And I don't like it. Because I think your top 10 or 15 high school players aren't going to be able to be seen at college. And who the heck is watching G League basketball? I know you do because it's your job.
No. I'm not watching G League basketball either. Let's be clear about that. I mean, you can't even. There's no place even to find it.
No, there's no way that anybody. And then the problem's going to be, Gill, and I've heard this argument already, is you get branded in college. So your brand, your name is out there, right? Zion Williamson. If Zion goes to the G League, you hear a little pump maybe throughout, maybe the ESPN, oh, there's this kid in the G League. But nobody's watching him. Nobody cares.
Well, that's going to be, because that's the thing that people gets lost in the sauce sometimes, and I'm glad you brought up, is Zion has a name and a brand because he played at Duke. Is he going to have that name because he played for, the Lenoka Harbor Raiders,
Right. There's no way. And so, again, it's not my problem, but it's going to cost him some money early in his career because he's not going to get the Nike deal for $100 million when nobody knows his name yet. You're just not going to get it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the kids play it because I think you get a bigger brand if you go to college, but you're guaranteed money right away if you go to the G League and you're playing with adults and you're playing with a little older men and you're getting primed a little bit maybe tougher than you would at the college game. But this is going to be interesting to see. And then how do the boosters in college and how does all that shadiness that goes on in college? You got the Memphis player who only lasted, 3 games because, Penny gave him a barbecue or something stupid. But, how's all that going to play into this moving forward as well, right?
Right. No, that's a good point. But if you're a kid now and you're like, dude, what am I going to do? Waste my time here for that Ben Simmons one and done documentary. He would have been a guy that would have gone to this pathway program right away.
Right. Well, a lot of these kids don't because they're already thinking if you're a top pick and you're going to be the next year, these kids aren't going to school to learn. I mean, we know that. They go to their classes, just get me a C, get me through, and then I'm out of here anyway. It doesn't matter if I fail.
Well, most of them after the first semester, they don't even go back to school anymore because it doesn't matter what grade they get in the second half of the year. It's a farce.
Yeah, exactly. So it is going to come down to, I think a lot of these kids, they're going to see the green, they're going to see the money, and they're going to say, let's go. Ooh. I want the money, and we're going to lose out.
What about, have you been hearing Isiah Thomas the last couple of days? I mean, this is great. I mean, this is like the bad boy Pistons and the Bulls are still fighting. It's like that WrestleMania a couple of years when Sting fought against Triple H, and then the NWO came out and fought up against the New Age Outlaws.
Well, I can't compare it because I don't really know as much.
I mean, they had that Hogan, Hall, and Nash using walkers to come down that thing that night. I mean, that Sting's hair was poor.
Is he still wrestling, by the way?
No, and he's not, but he probably would like to.
Oh, thank God.
Well, he wrestled a couple of years ago, and he got a buckle bomb, and he hurt his neck, and they said, right, that's it. I mean, he's almost 60 now, Sting.
And he was spray painting his hair, I think. I don't think he had any hair left. I mean,
you believe that? You don't believe that hair was really there?
Nah, we could see it clearly in some replays. The back of that head, that hair was gone.
Right, Sting right now is 61 years old. He's in tremendous shape, by the way, for 61.
Well, just coast to the finish line. I mean, come on, just enjoy your time.
Well, right, he had a match. I mean, it had to be about maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And the guy gave him the buckle bomb, and he was in the middle of the match, and, I mean, his legs just gave out from under him. I mean, the hair was in poor shape.
And then the stretcher was brought out for real, not by accident.
Ooh.
Oh, it's bad. No, look, I don't know. I've heard a little bit, and I heard Bill Lambier jump in and kind of said, hey, look, we didn't like them. We didn't want them. They kept whining, so we weren't going to shake their hand. I mean, I give Bill credit. He's a little more, look, I don't care. Yeah, we didn't shake their hands. Isaiah's trying to find excuses right and left, and it would have been better off just saying, look, we were the bad boys. We were going to walk off and not shake their hands. It is what it is. You don't like it? Fine. We didn't have sportsmanship? Fine. But we were leaving, and we were done.
Well, he said that was the way it was back then.
Which a lot of people are refuting because there's a lot of other, you can see footage of everybody's shaking hands. The only team who didn't, apparently, was the Celtics when they lost to the Pistons. So then the Pistons, I guess, thought that's how we're going to leave the Bulls. I don't know if that was meant to be more of almost like you're now the champions. And by that, we're going to leave and not shake your hand. I mean, look, why does anybody even care? You're grown men. You beat them, they shake your hand, they don't shake your hand. All right, you don't like it, you do like it. What does anybody care? I mean, I get the sportsmanship, but at that point, they're adults. They're not in high school. They're not in college. Yeah. They're adults. If they don't want to shake your hand, you understand why. It's been a 7. Well, that was a sweep, so they were embarrassed. I mean, that's the clear fact of that. I mean, they were the team won last 2. They get embarrassed.
All right, let me last one here. Ask Mike and Todd. By the way, Sting last wrestled in 2015, so 5 years ago he fought. So he was, 55, 54, I guess. He was still out there, and he was in much better shape than you or I. All right, although his hair was not as good as ours. But last one, you're in L.A. You got the Lakers, the 1 seed, the Clippers, the 2 seed. Are people out there like restless, like they want to get this season going? Are people writing the season off? I mean, what's like the anticipation for basketball returning?
I mean, I have to say right now it's a bit of a lull, but I think it's going to gear up, and I think everybody wants it this year out here because of what the storylines were. Right? You had the Lakers, you had the Clippers. Half this city was Lakers, and honestly, it's never been more half and half.
Ooh, you think it's now that bridge is closing?
Oh, there's no question about that.
Well, that's Steve Kerr, by the way. That Steve Kerr said today that he feels the NBA season is over and doesn't think the Warriors will play again.
Well, but they won't if they go right to the playoffs, right? I mean, if the NBA goes right to playoffs, Warriors are done. So they are done playing, I think. I think he's pretty much going to mail it in.
But he literally just said this recently about 10 minutes ago. Steve Kerr said today, quote, "We're staying in touch with guys, but everyone is just sort of assuming that this is kind of it." He said in a Zoom call, "We're not going to be involved much anymore." Steph Curry was quoted earlier today saying that it would suck to play games with no fans in the stands, and it sounds like he might not have to worry about it.
Yeah, and look, this was the best year. If you're going to be the Warriors and you're going to lose Durant and you're going to have a down year and you're going to get Steph injured and Clay recovering from injury, this was perfect. Yeah. I mean, they didn't have to play the full season, and they get kind of through it. Nobody really remembers it. And all of a sudden next year, they're going to be fully loaded. They'll have a nice draft pick, and, they'll be right back in the mix. It's going to be a real lost season for like a Lakers or a Clippers team. There's no question about that. I mean, those two teams.
And if you're LeBron, I mean, that's just one off. That's one off the ledger.
What, and how many more do you got?
Right, exactly. That's why it's really tough to swallow if you're a guy like LeBron. I mean, this might have been one of your last few chances. I mean, how many more legit chances is he going to have playing at this level to win a championship?
Well, and every other team's getting better. And the Clippers are younger, and they've got star power. And a couple of those teams in the East, I mean, Milwaukee, nobody talks much about Milwaukee. I don't know why, because they're the best team in the league, really, as far as record goes, I think. So, you're looking at the Lakers, Anthony Davis. Does he come back? Yeah, everybody assumes he will, but it's not guaranteed. And I don't think LeBron, two more strong. I give him 2 more years. I mean, he's in pristine condition, so I'll give him 2 more strong years. But I just don't know that the Lakers can support him with the pieces that he needs. And this was a year that he thought he had a shot. And I don't know. You never know what team's going to come out next year, what teams are going to make moves, what draft picks are going to come in and make an impact on a team. Even the Clippers, I think, are going to be a little bit upset that this year comes to an end if it doesn't happen, because I think they feel really good about where they are. Yeah.
All right, that's Ask Mike and Todd. It's in the books for a Tuesday. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, man.
All right, buddy.